All right, we're going to call to order our public hearing here. Declaration of a quorum, 7 members present. Welcome, everybody. Brings us to item C, public hearing. Receive input on proposed school district budget and tax rate for the 2022-23 school year. Mr. Martindale.
Thank you, Mr. Warwick. Board members, prior to receiving any public comment or receiving a proposed budget or tax rate, we're required to have a public hearing. Here with just a brief presentation at our public hearing is our CFO, Ms. Amy Dross.
Thank you, Mr. Martindale. First of all, very quickly, the purpose of the public meeting tonight, and that is to discuss the school district's budget and proposed tax rate for the 22-23 school year. That includes the general fund, debt service fund, and the child nutrition fund. So the notice of this public hearing has been advertised and posted according to both state law and local policy. So first, to go over a few terms and definitions or acronyms that will be used tonight, just for your information. ADA, or average daily attendance, is just what it says. It's average daily attendance, and it is utilized to calculate state revenue for the district. WADA, or weighted average daily attendance, is that same ADA, but it's weighted for special populations like CTE, special education, and those sorts, and then used again to calculate the state revenue. So the NNR, or no new revenue rate, this is utilized to determine what property tax would be required to generate the same amount of tax revenue as the prior year, utilizing the same properties. So no new construction, but it would be the same properties, and if they had some valuation increase or decrease. So what rate it would take to generate that same revenue on the same properties. The MCR, or maximum compressed tax rate, that's the tax rate that's calculated by TEA based on both state and local property value growth. But basically, we get to retain about 2.5% of our property value growth. And beyond that, we must compress our tax rate to make up that difference. And the VATRE, or voter approved tax rate election, is an election required if the adopted rate exceeds that M&O compressed tax rate that we just talked about. So first of all, the tax rate calculations that are used for the proposed budget, that is that compressed tax rate that we just talked about. So it has been compressed to reduce the tax rate for values above about 2.5% for the district on the maintenance and operations side. So that is 0.8851 cents for 22-23 compared to 9.522 cents in the prior year. Leaving the debt service constant at 26.3 cents. That puts the total compressed rate here for both sources $1.1481 as opposed to $21.52, so a 6.71 cent decline from last year. And this will be used to prepare the budget. So the general fund assumptions used is an enrollment of 14,389 and an average daily attendance of 13,725. That's about a 3.5% increase from the prior year snapshot date, which is the end of October. Property value growth after accounting for the additional 15,000 homestead exemption that passed in May is 10.726%.
Ms. Strauss, one quick back on that slide. There's a type that's 14,689, correct, as far as enrollment?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
So the proposed budget, including all three funds, totals $169,070,430 for total revenue. That's all three funds, and $170,584,706 for appropriations. So appropriations exceeding revenue of $1,514,276. I don't think I said that right, did I? I see you laughing. 169 million. 170,430. I'm forgetting my
We're only
comments here.
168 million short, Ms.
Yeah.
Charles.
Just a few more zeros there. I'm looking at too many numbers. So the general fund is the only one that is not balanced here, with appropriations exceeding revenue. So the appropriations 130,763,894, and appropriations 132,278,170. So included in the general fund budget is what we're called Compensation Plan A that the Board of Trustees approved in June. That increased beginning teacher pay to $47,725 and included a 2% salary increase for all pay groups, teachers, librarians, registered nurses, as well as auxiliary paraprofessional and administrative. We had additional positions for special education. We had some budget increases for career technology education, CTE, due to program growth, 2 additional school resource deputies, inflation for things like the largest things being fuel, our school resource deputy contract, property and casualty insurance, and the Brazos Central Appraisal District, but there are some others as well. And then miscellaneous supplies and expenses to accommodate that student growth. So debt service, included in those 3 funds, has scheduled principal and interest payments that total that $30,703,865. Again, that is a balanced budget. And then the last fund that's budgeted is child nutrition, again balanced with revenue and expenses of $7,602,671. And just a reminder, this proposed budget assumes a national school lunch and breakfast program that was in place prior to March of 2020. That's pre-pandemic. If you'll recall, that the past 2 years we've been under a program where all students ate meals free of charge. So then talking about the proposed tax rate, we just said that middle column there is what we use to propose the budget or build the budget with. But the proposed tax rate that we're looking at is 3 cents higher on the maintenance and operations side. So the maintenance and operations budget of 91.51 cents. Again, that same debt service rate for $1.1781, or 3.71 cents lower than our current tax rate that we have now. The proposed tax rate that's recommended for adoption will require a voter-approved tax rate election, if so approved. So just a visual of what that tax rate kind of looks like when you compare it to 21-22. The blue line is with the compressed rate that we prepared the budget with, that 6.7 cent decline. And then on the right in the green arrow would be if the VATRE is called and passed, with a 3.7 cent decline. Now this is just the maintenance and operations side, since the debt service side stayed the same. So it would go from 95.22 cents to 91.51. So the revenue that this 3 cents, additional 3 cents is estimated to generate is $5,015,431. So that's $3.3 million in property taxes and $1,715,431 in state revenue. So the state still contributes at this point based on our maintenance and operations tax effort on these 3 cents. Any additional cents, there is no additional state aid. So at this 3 cents, we will be maximizing our state revenue for College Station ISD. So if approved as well, these funds above would be estimated to balance the budget as well as fund compensation Plan B that was also approved in June. So the order calling for that voter-approved tax rate election that we just discussed is done because we exceeded that calculated compressed rate or voter-approved rate. That election, if passed tonight, would be on November 8th, with early voting starting on October 24th. So with that, I will take any public comments.
Anything?
Having none.
Nope. Thank you, Ms. Strauss.
Thank you.
That will adjourn us.